Hello everyone, I hope you're well. A lot of you have asked me about coloured pencils I use, so I thought of focusing this video about coloured pencils. We will discuss what they are, how to use them for archival artwork, and the other materials you need. Coloured pencils help to create vibrant and precise artwork, and the slow layering is a very peaceful and therapeutic process. It's like meditation. It gives a lot of time to slow down and reflect. Coloured pencils come in different pack sizes as well as prices, so you can find one to suit your budget. There are two types of coloured pencils, wax-based or oil-based. Wax-based pencils like Prismacolor have a softer core and are creamier. Because they're so soft, the tip can get blunt quicker. Oil-based pencils like Polychromos have a harder core and hold their point sharper for longer. These are the three brands I use. One of my favorite brands is Prismacolor. They are so creamy and waxy, so they are easy to blend. When I was starting with coloured pencils, I used them a lot, and they're more budget friendly as well. The next brand I use is Faber-Castell. Their watercolour pencils are great to create the base layer. I use that a lot in the beginners tutorials because they can be used by anyone of any age without worrying about solvent allergies. This is Polychromos by Faber-Castell. It's an oil-based pencil, and these are great for fur detail and hair because they hold their points sharper for longer. The next brand I use is Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. I use these for archival artwork that I sell. I do not recommend these for beginners because they are very expensive. Just to give you a rough idea, this box cost me more than £200. Caran d'Ache Luminance are the highest quality pencils available. They are wax-based and are perfect for realistic archival work that you can sell. What makes them very special is their light fastness, which means how fade resistant they are over time. If you are selling your artwork, you don't want it to fade over time. You can organize your colored pencils in any way you like. I organize them by color, reds, blues, greens and yellows separately, and I keep my skin tones in a separate box. Human skin is a fascinating subject with so many colors that you don't even imagine, like purples and greens. But keeping the most common skin tones together helped me to organize. With the brands of pencils I mentioned before, we have to use thick paper because of the waxiness of the pencils, and also for burnishing and blending. I really like Bristol Smooth paper. It's a good paper because it's thick and it can take up water and solvents without buckling. Next is tone grey paper. I use this one for portraits particularly because of the greyness of the paper. Next is pastel matte. Pastel matte is the most textured out of the three paper. It feels like sandpaper. Pastel matte is perfect for creating textured fur of animals. I like this one a lot for animal drawings. I don't use this particularly for delicate flower drawings, but it's mostly for animal paintings that I use this for. Now let's talk about other material we use for colored pencil drawings. A knife like this is very useful for adding detail as well as sharpening the tips of the pencils. Next is a sharpener. The brand doesn't really matter as long as it does the job. Masking fluid, that's needed particularly for watercolor drawings to protect certain areas from the paint. And finally, solvent. Over the years, I've tried lots of different brands of solvent to try and blending the colored pencils and settled with Zest-it because it doesn't cause any allergies and it's a really good blender. So today I will do a little demonstration of a colored pencil drawing When I'm choosing colours, I use these swatches that I've made before. We will talk about these in depth in my Art Club tutorials when we use specific images. Today I'm going to paint this little barbell snowman. I'm going to choose reds close to his colour. You don't have to match the exact colour, but it's very important to match the values of the colour, so you get the darks and shades properly. I have drawn this little snowman in pencil, and I'm using the watercolour pencils to highlight details and shadows. When you are layering coloured pencils, the pressure is really important. Hard lines don't help smooth transition between the colours, so the first layer needs to be very light. And also, if you use too much pressure at the very beginning, it can flatten the tooth and it won't take up any more colour. The reason why I'm using watercolour base layer is because it helps to spread the colours in a larger area quicker, and also it helps to smooth out the graininess of the paper before I start the actual painting. Once I have coloured the base, then using a wet brush I'm moving the pigments around gently to make sure there is no graininess. You need to put enough pigment down first, unless you're going for a grainy look particularly. I usually colour the whole painting before blending in because it helps me to see the values better. Then I leave the painting to dry a few hours. Once it's completely dry, you can go over it with other brands of pencil, like the wax-based or oil-based. For this demonstration, I'm using the watercolour base layer. Normally I use solvent, and I use the same colours all the way through, particularly for commissions and the archival artwork I sell. Coloured pencils are such a wonderful relaxing medium. If you would like to learn more about them, join my art club over in Patreon, where I will be sharing a lot of techniques and real-time drawings with you, and you will be creating a lot of fun creative artwork there. Usually I do the whole base layer of the whole painting before I continue developing the layers up, because it helps me to see the values better. Having lots and lots of layers means there are a lot of pigment for the base layer. If you don't have enough pigments, you won't be able to blend. Once you have finished layering the base layer, you can use water to move the pigments about and blend. And when the water is dry, you can add the next layer either with watercolour pencils or polychromos and Prismacolors. Coloured pencils are such a wonderful relaxing medium. If you would like to learn more about them, please join my art club over in Patreon, where I will be sharing a lot of techniques and real-time drawing videos. You will be creating a lot of fun creative artwork over there.